Hello everyone, and this is your guide to turn your non-Whovian friend into a Whovian. So, if you follow these 12 steps, well, probably more, your friend will become a Whovian. So, step 1, um, show them some Doctor Who trailers, talk a bit about them, like show them a trailer for your favorite episode, and then they'll probably be like, that looks interesting. Step 2, then explain them, then tell them about, uh, the more important stuff, show them a video of all of the doctors regenerating, just google every single Doctor Who regeneration, and then you'll find one video about that. Show them your friend that video, then show them a Dalek video, Daleks for the ages or something like that, and then a Cyberman video, then tell them about regeneration, Daleks, Cybermen, Davros, all of that stuff. Yeah, and then they'll probably be sort of, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. um then what you need to do is you need to show them a Doctor Who story. But be careful, because you shouldn't show them a lost story. Like, you shouldn't show them a recon. That wouldn't be a good choice. I don't think you should start by showing them a Big Finish audio. Well, making them listen to a Big Finish audio. I mean, because I guess the TV show is easier for new people that hasn't watched the show before to get sort of into. I think that you should introduce them to the audios later. Then what you need to do is you need to show them a story, of course, and then I would say, pick a really good story. Pick a story that everyone loves. I would recommend an 80s story, because if it's the 60s, they might be like, boring, black and white. If it's the 70s, they might be like, oh, that's horrible effects, I can't possibly watch that. But if it's the 80s, the effects are alright. So I think your non-Whovian friend would think it was watchable. Um, and stuff. So I think they would probably still think the effects were pretty bad, but I guess, I personally don't mind bad effects, but I guess I've watched every single TV story, so yeah. I'm just a massive Doctor Who fan, so of course I don't mind black and white or anything like that. Stories that are in black and white or something, or bad special effects or anything like that. But people that have never watched the show before will be like, nah, because they don't know what Doctor Who is. So I think you should introduce. I wouldn't recommend introducing them to the new series for that reason. That um, uh, it doesn't feel like Doctor Who in the same way. Um, but what I would recommend, show them a McCoy story. The reason why you should do that is because the McCoy era, all the stories are sort of um enjoyable. I think they'll easily be able to sort of um, connect to the stories, because it's sort of modern days, but it's still classic Who, still good, and they'll still get that Doctor Who feeling. Um, I would recommend a story like Remembrance of the Daleks or The Curse of Fenric. Yeah. I think those two stories would be an excellent choice. Even though Silver Nemesis, I know it's quite a hated story among fans, I have had good experience with showing that to non-Whovians. Um, yeah, and they will probably also enjoy. Yeah, well, I think you shouldn't show them Battlefield, but they will probably just enjoy Survival quite a lot as well, because it's like the final classic story and could tell them a bit about that. So I would say one of those McCoy stories. If you really don't want to show them a McCoy story, I guess Attack of the Cybermen would be an easy choice. The Two Doctors would be a good choice. Um, Earthshock or the Five Doctors. I think the Five Doctors is another good choice. And if you don't want to show them a story from the 80s, I recommend The Pyramids of Mars, Genesis of the Daleks, The Brain of Morbius, um, or The Green Death, maybe, or The Time Warrior, or I think Terror of the Autons. I have had good experience with showing that to people who had never watched Doctor Who before. And I think if you really want to show them a 60s story, I would recommend maybe showing them the War Games, even though it's quite long. So maybe Tomb of the Cybermen, or I think Tomb of the Cybermen is a good choice, because it's only 4 parts, so they'll it's not that long, so I think they'll be able to connect with that story. And it's the effects aren't bad, and some people that never watched Doctor Who before might care about that. I mean, I think they might. I mean, I personally don't care, but some people that, well, I have watched every single Doctor Who story, so why should I care? Well, that's actually, well, never mind. Forget what I just said. Well, basically what I said was, people that had never watched Doctor Who stories before might care about the special effects. So I think you should show them a story like The Tomb of the Cybermen. The 10th Planet's an alright choice as well, but there's the final animated part. Well, part 4 is animated, and they might not like that. And if you really don't want to show them a classic story, then the TV movie is always a good idea. Well, but I don't think they'll really be able to connect to the TV movie that well, even though it's a lot like a normal American 90s movie thing. So they might, but you wouldn't be able to show them what Doctor Who is. And then I really wouldn't recommend showing them a new series story if that's what you want to get, like, because I think you should make them get used to the classic Doctor Who thing, and then when they've watched 7 classic stories or something like that, then show them a new one. And then I would recommend The Family of Blood. Yeah. For that reason that it's sort of a classic style story. Well, it was based on a Doctor Who book, so yeah. So hopefully you will have a Doctor Who fan at this point. Show them a regeneration story. Always do that. I think the first regeneration story they should watch. I think the War Games isn't a good choice because it's sort of you don't see him regenerate. Planet of the Spiders maybe it could be a good one. Even though the choice I would go for would definitely be the Cave for Andrew Sonny because it's an amazing story, and they might and they will really enjoy it, and they will get to know what regeneration is. But if you want to get them into Doctor Who a bit quicker, I would recommend showing them The Night of the Doctor because it's short and it's an easy way to explain what regeneration is, like in a good way. Even though you have already showed them the YouTube video, so they should be able to do that. So hopefully this helped you a bit. I know it was quite a lot of information, so I hope your tiny little heads could. Sorry, I'm talking like the doctor. Sorry. I hope your brains could remember all of that information. I hope they could. You can always rewatch the video if that's not the case. So thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, everyone, and bye.